Well, Jim, a defeat today at home to Boston. What disappointed you most about today's performance?
How we sort of on our own game, really. I thought there was a couple of lethargic performances and a couple of... But as the first half went on, I thought we gave the ball away too much. We sort of de-energised ourselves. And because the turnover of the ball was so much, they kept looking threatening, and we had to change the shape, because I thought our centre halves were struggling to deal when they got the two up against them quickly, and Ben's had to make a couple of good saves where it was too easy to get in behind us.
You did change the shape, and certainly the early stage of the second half, Adam Thomas, I think 4 crosses in the first 4 minutes, and you seemed to be really on the front foot there, but just couldn't make the breakthrough. Yeah, well, I mean, the second goal epitomised it. I mean, we've had a fantastic opportunity. I mean, I've been working with Niall in training, and we've been working about what sort of techniques to use and what. He's obviously gone for something similar to what he did the other week, but I think that's where the little bit of craft comes out, a bit of composure. But I thought, although he looked tired, he still was a threat, and you can see, because the thing that jumped out, I mean, I played a winning team, so I'm looking at myself first before I look across the pitch at anybody, or have I made the right substitutions, have I made the right changes. And you played a winning team, but I think the result last week masked a few players that didn't really contribute, and a couple of players who are not in the best form, are not really bringing anything to the team. And I think again they showed today that perhaps they were lucky to stay in the team based upon last week's win, but with the kind of pressure that Scott Duxbury, Sam Minahan and Matty Ward will be putting on players, they've got the work cut out this week to be still in the team next week. So, but the change of shape, I felt I wanted to secure the back door, to kind of give Jordan Keane was cutting no man's, really wasn't cutting much out, and the centre halves was struggling with people getting down the sides of them. So the tactical change was to make sure that we didn't put ourselves further behind. We wanted to try and get the front three closer together, and then get Scott Duxbury and Adam Thomas up the flanks. Huge charge for Sam Walker and Conor DeMeo, but I thought they would cope okay if they, knocking the ball, moving the ball forward, moving the ball out wide. And I thought that when we did that, we attacked down the middle and then had a second wave down the sides, we looked quite threatening, and then we had set plays. Didn't ask as many questions, but again we've been undone with the three centre backs not being able to do with the two, and then they're able to spring their runners. So really disappointed that with the second goal, but we needed a goal really to get our energy up and our belief up. Because once that second goal went, and I was looking across the pitch for the leadership, looking across for who's got the energy, and I think we sort of became a little bit easy to deal with, and we didn't really move the ball with any purpose behind them or between them or out down the sides and get Scott and Adam involved, or Sam Minahan as it was at that stage. So difficult defeat to take, and but I know we've got a lot of work. I knew after last week's game that we had a lot of work to be done. We need to get fitter. We need to get better organised. We need to be able to be more effective and more consistent from set plays, and a lot of work to be done, especially if we're going to get results in the next couple of weeks when we're playing some tough opponents away from home. Did the gamesmanship at all disrupt the flow of your team today? I mean, we saw Boston time waste last season. Did that affect you at all?
Yeah, but I said to the lads that you can't give them the lead and expect them to be like that. That's why the onus was on us, like Leamington, get first goal, and then they have to be a little bit more honest and fair. But yeah, of course, the gamesmanship, they're obviously conscious of our energy, the crowd, and they'll think that they've played the perfect game, and but I wouldn't be proud of my team if we had to resort to that. I felt that they would be better served if they just kept playing their way and keep doing what they did throughout the game. And but I can't use that as an excuse. I thought that that there was plenty of time to be played, and what we need to do is just keep our purpose and keep our enthusiasm. The second goal, I think, probably killed us more than their time wasting, and that was really disappointing when we have the extra man in the back, and we should deal with it. So at the moment, we've got a couple of players who don't look a goal threat, don't look an assist threat, don't look like they're going to get us up the pitch don't look like they're going to win us a set play, and we might have to sacrifice them for players who have a little bit more to offer the team. So a lot of work to be done in training this week, and massive week for us going into the Telford game.
One positive to come out today though, Scott Duxbury back on that left hand side, and it must have been great to be able to bring him into the game at half time, and he looks fresh.
Yeah, like I said, you know what you get from Scott. A bit worried about him from the kick-off because the first ball went on top of him, but he won the header and landed awkwardly. But no, and I thought it was important to get him some decent minutes in preparation for the coming games. But he's trained really well. He's the game. The stats show that he's as capable as anybody. He doesn't look like he's off the pace. And like I said, it was really good to have him back in because I think he gives you something on the outside. But like I said, I just was disappointed in terms of the consistency and contribution to the front three in terms of being a goal threat, and getting behind the defence and getting on the end of crosses and anything that come in the box. So, but that in terms of the role of Adam Thomas second half of Scott Duxbury, I was really pleased.
Can I ask you about a bizarre incident right at the start of the game where Darren Stevenson kicked off and dribbled with the ball and was pulled back? I've never seen that before.
Well, I mean, I can't teach people everything, but you can't kick the ball. It's like any set play. It's like taking the corner for yourself or a free kick to yourself. But it kind of, I'm not saying that summed up the way we went about the first half, but that's the kind of nonsense as a manager that I shouldn't have to be dealing with. But yeah, strange incident. But there you go. That's kind of as General MacArthur once said, your best laid plans go to pieces on the beach. I prepared the lads. We talked about it at the end of the game. I wasn't ranting and raving. I was just talking about how we worked on certain things in training. We worked on certain crossing positions and what we do in certain positions, what we do on set plays. And I just didn't think it was there. And I think what happens is that players lose that focus on what the game plan is, what we're doing on set plays, and they start trying to make it up. And I think once you start doing that, then it becomes ragged. But again, that'll just we'll work that out with them. The more they start thinking better when they're tired, thinking when they're losing, and keeping consistent and keeping the purpose. Because for a large part of that game, I was willing for them to get the goal that they deserved for all that pressure, and then see what comes of the next 10 or 15 minutes. But we're walking away now thinking that we weren't really in the game, but we certainly were. But there's 3 or 4 players that have got a lot of work to do to stay in this side, and but fortunately we've got 3 or 4 players in and around the squad that are going to develop it, and the game plan has to be really good against Telford. They've had a good start, they know what they're doing, and then obviously we've got the FA Cup, which we hope to do well in. So disappointing what's happened today, and like I said, a lot of work to be done, but all I can do is prepare the team as well as I can and hope that when they go on the pitch they do the right things and they do the consistent things and what we do on the training ground. And if they don't, then obviously I've got to have a good think about things like that.
Commiserations. Thanks for your time. Cheers.